Welcome to episode number 18 of Visions, Dreams, and Insights. And it's appropriate that it's number 18 because when we reduce that it becomes a 9. 8 and 1 is 9 numerologically. And we are at the end of the year 2014, so winding down the old year and preparing for a new year. And I have to reference the Grateful Dead as far as this past year has been concerned. It's classic lyrics from their song Truckin'. Sometimes the light's all shining on me, other times I can barely see. Lately it occurs to me what a long, strange trip it's been, and my goodness, isn't life on this little planet filled with oddities? So I would like to extend a huge amount of gratitude to all the positive feedback, the support that all of you people in my spiritual tribe, of my spiritual family, have offered me, and for my humble endeavors. I do appreciate that, and I hope this coming 2015 will turn out to be an amazing year for each and every one of us. And again, referencing numerology, 2015 reduces to an 8, and 8 is a very high vibration. I remember 15 years ago hearing about a fellow in Japan who was willing to pay $1 million in order to secure the number 8 for his automobile license plate. So if you go to Japan, I'm sure that the Japanese are very into this coming year, embracing it with enthusiasm as that 8 vibration starts to surface. And a lot of people I've been talking to are already feeling that optimism, that wave of newness and potentiality that is on the horizon here. So if you're not already sensing that, then maybe you need to do a little more inner work. And that's a nice segue for this episode, which was presented to me in not only a vision but in a dream, twofold. I got on 2 different occasions this very strong picturing of the Master Jesus, who was very similar to the Master Buddha in that most of the stories he told us were multi-layered, and they gave us a lot of different perspectives to view life from and a lot of tools to work with. And both of the great masters, the Buddha and the Christ, were very prolific in sharing visions with us, and often even the mundane things that are recorded about their journey are in actual fact parables that we can examine and take to heart, and hopefully optimize our life by following in the steps of those who have preceded us into a more heightened level of awareness. So in this dream and in the vision I had both, I was with Jesus in the boat with the apostles when the storm overtook them on the Sea of Galilee. That is one of the more vivid sets of images in the stories of the life of Jesus that are shared with us in the New Testament. But within that story there is a parable that is very, very much a part of mastering the day-to-day extremes in our lives. The storms arrive and the boat is walking, and Jesus steps out of the boat, interestingly enough, and walks across the water and says to the elements, "Peace, be still." And of course the apostles were very grateful that he had dispelled the storm. They were in fear of their lives. And so it becomes a great teaching tool. He, by his actions, left a very powerful message for us. Now, in mainstream Christianity, in the more literal-based paradigm of Christian belief systems, this is seen as being primarily focused on the fact that Jesus had control over the natural world around us. And so in the minds of those people who focus in on that, that was the important point that was being made. But I think if you examine it in a little more depth, there is a much deeper and much more profound message that is being delivered to us in this very poignant story that comes to us from 2,000 years ago. One of the things that I have noticed in this past year is a lot of people are quick to make the statement, oh, the universe is doing this to me, and the universe is doing that to me, and I am being challenged by this, and I am being challenged by that. And there's this tendency to project everything outward. It's all exterior forces are molding me, bending me, shaping my life, creating chaos for me, making challenges for me. Well, if we go back and look at what was going on 2,000 years ago when Jesus was walking on water, the imagery all of a sudden starts to take on a whole new dimension. What is the water? Well, perhaps that is our emotional range, our emotions that are always either placid and calm or very turbulent. And there's frequently storms that come through us that are emotional upheavals, emotional trials and tribulations. And I think that this is a very powerful idea to approach the year 2015 with, is that there are no exterior forces, there are no storms being generated by the universe or by God. God's not trying to transform you. God created you in its image and likeness. So God really is oblivious to the fact that you have created all of these conditions in your life. And that really is a key element, is that you are the one who has been generating all of these events. Now think of the mind as a creative tool. Now imagine, and this, say the span of 24 hours, all the thoughts that go through your mind. There are hundreds, if not thousands, of thoughts an hour, constantly gestating, going into chaos, some coming up that are fearful, others coming up that are wonderful. But there's just this constant activity. And if we stop and realize the power of the mind, then we begin to connect the dots, and we realize that every time you have a thought and you put any kind of energy into it, either resisting it or accepting it or taking it and running with it, that is going to create a force, a movement, an action within the universe. Now, in the course of 10 minutes of one day, you could probably have 50 or 100 conflicting thoughts going on in your mind. Now you compound that by 24 hours a day, and my God, you know, when you're really becoming aware of the activity of the mind, you begin to realize how there is all this turbulence and this turmoil and this chaos that is going on inside your head. And within that, it has to be projected out. It has to come into manifestation in one way or another. So if your world is presenting you with a lot of unrelated, disconnected experiences, if you're seeing a lot of almost mindless, chaotic cycles that kick in, rather than projecting the source of this outside yourself, start to think about, what is my mind doing? What has it been doing over the last week, the last 6 months, the last 10 years? Because there is the key to discovering where the storms in our lives come from. Now, when Jesus steps out of that boat and walks across the Galilee Sea, those waves that were crashing, those winds that were blowing, all of those conditions came to a cessation. They came to a level of being placid. And Jesus makes mention of something that I think is a very profound and powerful statement. And I think this is something that each and every one of us should keep right at the tip of our tongue, right at the right on the edge of our mind at all times. He says to this storm that is unfolding, "Peace, be still." What a profoundly positive and powerful thought that is. If we can tell our mind to become peaceful, if we can make that statement within ourselves when we're stepping into chaotic thoughts, fear-driven thoughts, or even just random crazy thoughts that are meaningless, if we can bring ourselves back under control in tiny increments every day, what a powerful year this could become. Because, when you start off on a journey, the first 3 or 4 steps, it seems like, oh my God, I've still got 10,000 miles ahead of me. But halfway through the journey, you're beginning to realize, wow, I'm really making progress. And this one tool, this one little nugget of truth that you can imbibe, think of it as food. You're feeding your mind and your soul and your being and your life on this planet with that very simple and yet very powerful thought of peace. Be still. And know that the mind at first may rebel, it may reject that thought, it may resist what you're trying to accomplish. But over the next 12 months, if you're diligent, you will see a powerful and amazing transformation occur in your life. So that is your vision for the end of year 2014, the beginning of year 2015. Carry it around with you. Jot it down on a piece of note paper, and make a sticky note and stick it on the mirror in the bathroom and put it in your wallet and carry it with you. But always go back to that very simple, powerful stimulant when you're dealing with all of the different things that are going on within your life, even the good events. Don't get carried away by the good, because that takes you up to the precipice where all of a sudden you plunge into the bad again. But if you can just get to that point where you step back from being immersed in your life and become the observer of your life, and tell your mind, peace, be still, become calm, let the ocean stop waving and rolling and rocking and pitching, let the winds diminish. If you stimulate the mind with that thought over and over again, guess what? The clouds will break, the sun will come shining down. So have a powerful and productive 2015. And remember that no force around you is creating chaos for you. And the more you fail to take ownership of the conditions and circumstances in your life, the more you're going to be repeating history over and over and over again. So get out there, share the love, pass the love around, and I'll be speaking with you soon.
whether you're winning